Welcome to another episode of Welcome to Japan. If you're travelling to Japan in May or June, you've probably noticed that the weather apps can be incredibly confusing. One day it's sunny and bright, and the next it's a humid, torrential downpour. Packing for this season can feel like solving a puzzle, but don't worry, today we're going to share the ultimate packing guide based on an ancient Japanese tradition called Koromogae. By the end of this 30-minute guide, you'll know exactly what to bring, what to leave behind, and how to stay comfortable as spring transitions into the rainy season. First, let's address the traveller's dilemma. If you pack too many warm clothes, you'll overheat in the suffocating humidity. If you only bring summer wear, the chilly indoor air conditioning and sudden temperature drops will leave you shivering. And then there's the rain. The rainy season, or Tsuyu, usually starts in early to mid-June. It brings weeks of overcast skies, drizzle and sudden downpours. Navigating this requires a very specific packing strategy. Luckily, you don't have to guess. Japan has already solved this transitional weather problem centuries ago through a cultural practice known as Koromogae. It's essentially the seasonal change of clothing, and it's deeply ingrained in Japanese society. We can learn a lot from this tradition, adapting its core principles into a foolproof packing list for your trip. Here is our roadmap for today's episode. We'll start by exploring the fascinating history of Koromogae to understand the culture. Then, we'll decode the actual weather data for May and June. Next, we'll dive into practical packing rules, the art of layering, the two-pair footwear strategy, and local rain hacks, like why you shouldn't pack a giant umbrella. Let's get started. Let's dive into Act 2, the deep roots of Koromogae. The word Koromogae literally translates to changing clothes. It is the seasonal custom of transitioning one's wardrobe from winter to summer and vice versa. It's not just a casual weekend chore of organising your closet. In Japan, it's a formal, nationwide transition. This custom dates all the way back to the Heian period, roughly 1200 years ago. It began in the Imperial court, largely driven by Chinese customs and Shinto beliefs of purification. Aristocrats would ceremonially pack away their heavy, multi-layered silk garments and switch to unlined, sheer summer fabrics. This ritual marked the official shift in seasons and was a way to stay in harmony with nature. Fast forward to today, and Koromogae is still very much alive. The most visible example is the June 1st phenomenon. On this exact date, millions of Japanese students and workers suddenly switch from their heavy, dark winter uniforms to their lightweight, short-sleeved summer uniforms. It's an incredible sight to see the entire nation collectively change its dress code overnight. In the corporate world, this tradition has evolved into Cool Biz. Started by the government in 2005, Cool Biz encourages office workers to ditch their ties and jackets during the hot months. The goal is to set office air conditioners to a warmer 28 degrees Celsius, saving energy and reducing carbon emissions. So, if you're travelling for business in June, leave the heavy wool suit at home. So why does this matter for tourists? Because the concept of Koromogae teaches us that May and June require a distinct, intentional wardrobe. By aligning your packing list with this transitional mindset, you'll be significantly more comfortable. You'll know to avoid heavy winter fabrics and instead focus on breathable, versatile layers that match the local climate. Act 3. Let's decode the actual weather data. The transition from May to June is perhaps the most dramatic atmospheric shift in Japan. Late May is often considered the sweet spot of Japanese travel, warm, breezy and clear. But once June hits, the humidity skyrockets and the rain clouds roll in. If you're travelling in late May, you are in luck. Average daytime temperatures in Tokyo and Kyoto hover between 20 and 25 degrees Celsius, which is roughly 68 to 77 degrees Fahrenheit. The humidity is still relatively low, making it absolutely perfect for outdoor sightseeing, temple visits and walking tours. A light jacket and a t-shirt are usually all you need, but then comes Tsuyu. Tsuyu, written with characters meaning plum rain, gets its name because it coincides with the ripening of plums in early summer. Usually starting in early to mid-June for most of Honshu, it brings a persistent weather front. It doesn't necessarily rain hard all day every day, but the skies are consistently overcast with frequent drizzle and sudden heavy downpours. The rain isn't even the hardest part, it's the humidity. During Tsuyu, humidity levels frequently hit 80% or higher. Because of this, a seemingly mild 25 degrees Celsius can feel incredibly sticky and oppressive. Your sweat doesn't evaporate quickly in this humid air, meaning clothes can cling to you and feel uncomfortable if you choose the wrong fabrics. Here is a quick pro tip. If you absolutely hate humidity and rain, head north. The northern island of Hokkaido does not have a Tsuyu rainy season. It remains cool, dry and beautiful throughout June. It's a fantastic alternative destination if you want to escape the muggy weather of Tokyo or Kyoto. One last weather quirk to prepare for, the indoor freeze. While it might be sticky and warm outside, Japanese trains, department stores and museums blast their air conditioning to combat the humidity. The contrast can be jarring. You might be sweating outside, but freezing on the subway. This is why you must master our next topic, layering. Act 4, the art of layering. This brings us to packing rule number 1. Because of the stark contrast between the muggy outdoors and the freezing air-conditioned indoors, you cannot rely on a single thick sweater or a simple t-shirt. You need a modular wardrobe. Fabric choice is critical. Your base layers should be made of breathable, quick-drying materials. Cotton and linen blends are fantastic for keeping cool. Additionally, high-tech moisture-wicking synthetics like Uniqlo's Airism are absolute lifesavers in the Japanese humidity. Lightweight merino wool is also great because it resists odours. On the flip side, avoid heavy fabrics at all costs. Leave the thick winter denim jeans at home. If they get wet in the rain, they will take 3 days to dry in your hotel room. Thick polyester or fleece will trap heat and make you miserable. The golden rule of layering in Japan is the day bag essential. You should always carry a packable, lightweight, water-resistant jacket or a thin cardigan in your backpack or tote bag. When you step onto a freezing train, throw it on. When you step back outside into the humidity, take it off and roll it back into your bag. It's simple, but it will save your trip. To visualise the perfect Koromogae-inspired outfit for June, start with a breathable Airism t-shirt as your base. Over that, wear a loose linen overshirt that you can unbutton. For bottoms, choose quick-dry travel trousers or a breezy midi skirt. This combination gives you maximum flexibility to adjust to the temperature second by second. Act 5 brings us to packing rule number 2, the 2-pair footwear strategy. In Japan, you will walk an incredible amount, often 15,000 to 20,000 steps a day. During the rainy season, relying on just one pair of shoes is a recipe for disaster. Imagine stepping into a deep puddle on your first day. In Japan's high humidity, a soaked pair of sneakers will not dry overnight in your hotel room. Walking around in soggy shoes leads to terrible blisters, which will completely ruin your sightseeing. This is the nightmare of soggy socks, and we must avoid it. You need a strategic split. Bring 2 pairs of shoes with opposing strengths. Pair 1 should be a water-resistant or Gore-Tex sneaker for the heavy rain days. Pair 2 should be a highly breathable, lightweight mesh walking shoe for the dry, muggy days. By alternating them, you guarantee you always have a dry, comfortable pair of shoes ready to go. Also, keep the easy on, easy off rule in mind. In Japan, you'll be taking your shoes off constantly, at temples, traditional restaurants and ryokans. Avoid complicated boots with 20 eyelets that take 5 minutes to lace up. Slip-on sneakers or shoes with side zippers will make your life significantly easier when moving with a tour group. Act 6. rain gear and the famous Konbini hack. When people hear rainy season, their first instinct is to pack heavy raincoats, rubber rain boots, and massive umbrellas. Our advice? Don't. Packing bulky rain gear will just eat up your luggage space. Buy local instead. First of all, leave the giant golf umbrella at home. Tokyo and Kyoto are incredibly crowded cities. Wielding a massive umbrella makes you a hazard. Instead, embrace the Konbini umbrella culture. Convenience stores like 7-Eleven are on nearly every corner. Just buy a clear plastic umbrella for about 500 yen. The clear design allows you to see traffic and neon signs, keeping you safe. If you want to pack an umbrella, bring a Higasa, a dual-purpose UV parasol. Japanese summers have intense UV rays, and locals use parasols extensively. A compact folding parasol that also has a waterproof coating is the ultimate travel tool. It shields you from the blazing sun on clear days and saves you during a sudden drizzle. As for jackets, skip the thick rubbery yellow raincoat. In 80% humidity, wearing a thick raincoat will turn you into a walking sauna. You will be completely drenched in your own sweat. Instead, pack a very thin, unlined rain shell or windbreaker with underarm vents. It blocks the rain but lets the heat escape. Act 7. The small essentials. These are tiny, lightweight items you can easily toss into your suitcase that will make a massive difference in your comfort during the Japanese rainy season. Here are 3 secret lifesavers. First, a tenugui or hand towel. Public restrooms often lack paper towels, and you'll need it to wipe sweat. Second, spare socks in a Ziploc bag. Swapping into dry socks midday after a downpour is the greatest feeling in the world. Third, a USB rechargeable mini fan. It's an absolute lifesaver on stifling subway platforms. Act 8. Embracing the season. Don't let the rainy season discourage you from visiting Japan in June. In fact, many locals believe that places like Kyoto are actually at their most beautiful during the rain. The moss gardens turn a vibrant, glowing green, the stone paths become reflective, and the stunning ajisai, or hydrangeas, are in full bloom everywhere. The rain brings the country to life, providing a lush, green reward for travellers. With the right packing strategy, embracing the wisdom of Koromogae, layering smartly, and utilising local hacks, the rain becomes just an atmospheric backdrop to your adventure, rather than an obstacle. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into packing for Japan's early summer. I hope you found these Koromogae-inspired tips helpful. If you did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment telling me what time of year you plan to visit Japan. For the full packing checklist, visit our website at welcometojapan.jp. Have a wonderful trip and see you in the next episode.